Well, if I'm feeling really spicy and really like charitable today. So not only did you guys get an exam inspiration because I just fucking crushed my exam on Wednesday. I just came in and I told everyone my name was Brock Lesnar that day. I F5'd my professor through a table, and then I just got 100 out of 100 on my exam. I'm still awaiting my court date though. So you guys get an exam inspiration, and if you guys are feeling good about it, good about giving the recap, I will give everyone that's here tonight a DM inspiration for the person that does the recap.
Well, one of you guys are going to have to because I technically wasn't here for that, but
It's true.
I'll let you all in on what happened with my thing later on in character.
The amount of inspiration we're getting, I'm now concerned.
He's never this generous. What is happening?
Mm-hmm. Something's very fishy.
And it's not the
knuckleheaded trout
we're going to. It's not the knuckleheaded trout. That's true. Well, if anyone is interested in getting that thick DM inspiration, I need a recap roll into chat.
Starting off great.
I see a 3. 3 going once, going twice, and sold to Alicia Alpin, servant of the Morning Lord, bringer of light.
All right. So we picked up on Rime of the Frostmaiden with us still in the bottom of the chasm that we found ourselves in as we were fighting a pack of gnolls that were trying to summon a demon lord into our world. Trying to determine the best way for us to get out. Eventually we landed on Avalis turning into a giant owl to kind of fly us out one by one. As we were kind of making our way up, we realized that there was another pack of gnolls that was probably going to be arriving somewhat soonish. But we needed to kind of explore the rest of the cave so we can actually leave by getting rid of that arcane wall that was blocking us in. When we kind of returned back to the top side, we encountered the man who was captured in the cage that had Chardolin embedded all over him. Somehow we were able to get him to not be angry with us for the most part. Kind of calmed him down, providing him with snacks. That seems to calm most people down when they're not feeling like themselves. Snickers, or so I've heard. We were able to find, I guess, like an alcove where the arcane gnoll, I'm not sure what the term was, but I guess shaman, had kept an effigy, and when we smashed it, that brought down the wall that was blocking us. So we were able to leave the cave before the rest of the gnolls came back to their dwelling. We regrouped with the rest of our B team and traveled back to Bryn Shander with the magical fishing hook in tow. That's such a weird sentence. And once we got to town, we pretty much relaxed for the rest of the evening before we had to prepare ourselves to head back out to look after this Maud Chiselbone, the drug dealer of this hag crystal. We were able to turn in a fish hook for the alchemist fires that we needed. We also received some salt that we could use for purification purposes. Apparently Fae do not like salt, so that will be quite useful. And in the morning, when we were ready to head out, Lotus returned to us from the 9 Hells. And right now we're getting onto our sled dogs to head to Lake Denishar, I believe, is where the lair is, and maybe Lotus will fill us in on what occurred down in the lower plains.
That was excellent. You have earned DM inspiration for everybody. So everyone, you can add a point of DM inspiration to your sheets. Now that we have done the recap and we know a little bit about what we're getting into, we can move forward with our Thane facts for this week. And I would love to hear the Thane fact from the Lotus for this week.
Yeah, sure. Since this will be our session before the best holiday of the year, Halloween, don't at me. Lotus's favorite holiday has always been Halloween. And one of the things, and in fact, the year before all this stuff happened, when she was still on her world to celebrate Halloween, she dressed up as Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And, but being a Dragonborn, of course, she had to wear a wig, and she also had to put some padding, in the dress.
I think we all would if we were trying to what's it called? Be Elvira. She's pretty well endowed. Well, the Lotus has earned a point of Factspiration usable in this session for our adventure to the Hag Lair. Oh, there we go. Factspiration. Thank you. Let us continue by asking this same question of Avalus.
So Avalus had a vision when he was younger of Sylvanas in one of his forms as the hunter, or at least what he assumed was Sylvanas. It could have legit just have been a human hunter for all he knows, or for all we know. But he took it as a vision of his god, and so he assumes that all gods walk the earth, because that seems natural to him. And the fact that some of them have been more hands-on, like Tempest, and it was Tempest, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they did the lighting thing. Yeah. Kind of lends credibility to his theory. And so he's expecting at some point to encounter the Morning Lord just hanging out somewhere. And so if he, so he thinks that we're legit hunting down Auril, that she has a lair somewhere that we're going to find.
Oh my gosh. That would be crazy if you guys had to fight the god of winter in actuality. That would be nuts.
Like I said, Avalus wants to hunt a dragon, so he he doesn't necessarily grasp challenge ratings just yet.
This reminds me of a quote from a character we were speaking about yesterday in our game of Odyssey. Fuck Super Saiyans. Fuck androids. Fuck power levels. That's from DBZ. Hey, thank you. You have earned a point of Factspiration. Let me award that to you.
I will just carry it over, the one that didn't or would have expired.
No problem. Let us move forward to Gaiman the Glaive. Gaiman, can you tell us your Thane fact for this week?
Yeah. With the process of rebuilding the North, as we kind of, let loose the Shardland Dragon and it wreaked holy hell. Kind of feel like since we're all finding new relationships and kind of building our own families and whatnot, I would like to do something to kind of God blast it, to memorialize my tribe, my village, my parents, by building predominantly a goat ball arena. But I mean, it could be any kind of like sports arena, but I feel like that would be good for the economy, and it would breed a sense of community among those who reside up here in Two Towns.
Ball League. I love it. I want to see it. You have earned Faxpiration for your answer. That is an awesome thing. As someone who is all about trying to encourage his thought constructs to be more physically active. I would love that for them. Excellent. Well, you have earned Faxpiration. Let us continue to Alicia. Alicia, can you tell us your thing fact for this week?
I think if you're able to kind of confirm for me, since the half-plate armor that they have gotten from that Dwergar leader, has their hand returned back to normal? Or sorry, not the half-plate, the gauntlet.
Yes, so when you were hit by that purifying wave of energy, it nullified all of the influence of the lower planes upon you, the armor, and the gauntlet. So you don't have this like sickly looking black gauntlet straight off the armament of the Witch King of Angmar. This is I guess a white version of that.
Okay. Well, I guess the question was more of I had to stick my hand inside that thing after it was ripped off that dude. It was kind of nasty and grody and stuff like that. Was I able to clean it?
Yes. We will say very much like the end of Power Rangers in Space, when that purifying wave of energy hit it, it cleaned it up. It got all the gunk and grodiness off of it. And we can say that it also took some of the edgelord mall ninja-ness off of it as well. So it's much more aesthetically pleasing and aesthetically useful at this moment.
Okay, perfect. Because I think during the time skip, Alicia was very much fretting, how am I going to make this thing work with all of the edgelordness that was with the armor and the gauntlet? But since everything has now purified, they have felt a whole lot better of taking it from the dead Dwergar and is now kind of wearing it proudly.
I don't trust any of your characters anymore. They all evil.
I don't know what you're talking about. Alicia is a beacon of light. Literally a beacon of light.
Mm-hmm.
Darius is a different
Listen, mate, you're
story.
going to trust if it's going to hurt you. I'll show you who's evil.
What you talk about, Atlas?
Darius is different. Darius is a completely different story. Alicia is on a different scale. I'm also kind of laughing because you were saying if we're going to encounter the Frostmaiden at some point. As I'm looking at the title of the screen, the subtitle says Rime of the Frostmaiden. Something about bad guys being in the title of adventures kind of leads up to something I'm thinking.
As long as I get to fight the dragon on the way.
Yeah, they don't call it the
Rime of the he will not be appearing in this book.
It's like that one bit I remember seeing as this comedian being like, I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
It's like they're just being a little bit hinting, not, overly. But no, that's just that.
not overly hinting. Mm-hmm.
No foreshadowing here. But yeah, that's it for me.
I like it. Well, Alicia has a point of Faxpiration. Well, everyone has been powered up with DM Inspiration, Faxpiration, and Examspiration. Examspiration works exactly like DM Inspiration, but it's just has a different name. So if you guys want to track that on your character sheet, you can do so. Opening on the outskirts of the capital of Two Towns, Bryn Shander, are our heroes, the Thanes of Two Towns, the saviors of the people. The white expanses of Icewind Dale lay out before you. Your barking brigade of happy. Sled dogs await their adventure. Your growing stable of companions and managers all stretch their muscles and prepare themselves for the journey. All save for Sanar, because she's an undead mummy and she doesn't need to stretch. The task of raiding the den of a feared drug lord hag lays before you. Heroes of Icewind Dale, the ball is now in your court. Please tell me, what are your intentions for this upcoming mission? And what do you say to one another as you begin this journey?
Do we know how long it would take for us to get to the supposed lair?
You do. Thanks to your multitude of people who are either nerds about the region, survival experts, or Gaiman, who is somewhere in the middle of that Venn diagram, you know that it will take you 6 hours to get from your current location to the location of these so-called caverns that the hag lives in.
Okay, I'm gonna wait on doing this then until we've actually gotten there. Hope they still have that spell slot available.
I would say, in the meantime, I guess slightly before meeting up with the rest of the crew, I would go over to Watto and I would just say, like, "Look, darling, I wanted to apologize. I'm sorry for worrying you while I was away, but its offer came up suddenly, and I had a chance, and I took it."
I cannot tell you a lie. I was very worried about what was to happen to you, or with what was happening in the Nine Hells. I'm glad that everything turned out okay.
Though there is something I wanted to ask you, and we can also use this as an excuse to show everyone the cool new Watto art. Moo. You look a little different, darling. Did you do something with your hair?
Well, for the first time, I've started to use a new comb that was recommended to me. It's this, and he shows you a Furminator. I thought I might give it a shot, and it's really made my hair much more voluminous.
Indeed, it definitely looks good on you. I mean, I don't really have hair myself, but I assume it's something that, well, since you're covered in it, it's something you need a lot of time to take care of.
Yes. And as I'm sure you know, the most important hair on my body, and then he points to his whiskers on his face, are these.
Yes, of course they are.
That is indeed so real talk, we have 4 of those in our house, and they're all over the place, so that when it's time, we tackle one of our animals and start ferminating them.
Well, I'm sure they love that.
Yes, they adore it. Well, we mustn't keep the others. Let us meet up with everyone else. I am sure they all wish to hear what has happened to you in the Nine Hells, and the looming danger of the hag is evanescent on the air, and I wish to discuss it with everyone.
Yes. We'll discuss this with everyone, and it's certainly something important, but I do want to tell you, Watto, that I will let the others know this, but it was them and my mother, but you, and I'll take his hands, like, you're the reason I came back. No matter what they'd offer me, I would never stay because of you. And I'll just give him a little smooch.
Thank you, dear. And I feel the same about you if I were to be offered some sort of sick deal by the demon prince I once served. I'm glad that we are able to resist such nefarious forces together. Not everyone can say such a thing.
Indeed. Now come, we shouldn't keep the others waiting.
Of course. And you guys rush out of Watto's librarian cottage to meet up with everyone. As Watto and Lotus are rushing to meet you all, is there any roleplay scenes or things that need to be covered before they arrive?
So, are we just having a Kia like fall in the back of the party, or?
That is a great question. Their player didn't give me any notes or things for them for not being here this week. So we will say Akia is in quiet contemplation and will give a consummate nod in affirmative or nod in the negative based on how I imagine their character would react in situations. They are deep in thought, but they will be there.
Okay. Not so much role play, but Gaiman did do some shopping prior to this session. So I've got, so I purchased 4 potions of greater healing. Do we just want those distributed to each of the players that are here?
You can distribute the other 3. I still have 2 on me, as well as 2 regulars.
Okay, I didn't realize you had those in reserve.
Yeah, I've had some for a while now.
Okay.
So I should give our friend Akia 1 potion of greater healing.
Okay.
I will do so. See?
And like Lotus gets 1, and Ablis gets 1.
So now Akia has 2 potions of greater healing.
All right, thank you.
Oh. Excellent.
All right, so that leaves me with 1.
And I need to fix his potions because they're still like the basic B potions. We don't operate in the basic B raw potions around here.
I mean, it is, pumpkin spice season.
It is pumpkin spice season. You are completely correct.
Everyone is infected with basic.
I am not immune to it.
Avalos puts on his puffy sweater and his Ugg boots and is like, "What?
What?
It's like even like the smoothie place I go to, it's all pumpkin smoothies.
Yeah, he's like, Lotus, could Flavy take a picture of my food? I feel I want to capture the moment.
Oh, of course. Do you want me to put a filter on that for you?
Oh.
Well, you hurting, Lex?
That does hurt.
I feel so seen and called out at the same time.
No, it's because I know people like that, and it's just like, oh.
Levy, I'm so happy that they started showing Taylor Swift at NFL games. I feel like they're finally starting to include me now. Sorry, everyone. That might be not as topical.
Alicia, do you want a bite of my avocado toast?
You see that Alicia has avocado toast already.
Avocado toast.
We all basic up in here.
It was part of our breakfast at the church. We were running a special. Everyone had avocado toast this morning.
Excellent. You can dip your avocado toast into the pumpkin spice latte. Sweet and salty. So, heroes, you all meet up outside of the gates of Bryn Shander. Your allies are all there waiting to get this adventure going, and the player characters are all there to convene. You notice that Akia looks uncharacteristically contemplative this day.
I think as we're kind of gathered, Alicia would go up to Gaiman and just kind of check in with them. How are you feeling this morning? I guess this is going to be quite an interesting day.
I'm fine. I mean, if you're worried about, a relapse or something, I'm just worried that she's a crazy bitch. Evil crazy bitch. Not sure if the preparations that have been made are going to be enough. And you see him heft the iron fire poker. I'm hoping it's going to, we'll pull through all right. But I feel like she was just, fucking around before with the grasping snow hands and, throwing the elements at us. But this is going to be a significant battle, one way or the other. Either this will be a glorious victory in the name of Tempest, or it will be a glorious death.
Well, it's my job to make sure that you don't die, so let's keep that in mind. But also, remember that we have your back.
No, I'm not worried about dying. You see, I've taken the attitude, and maybe this is, a bit nonsensical, but I view myself in our biggest battles. I'm already a dead man, but I'm fighting to reclaim my life. And when I'm victorious, I've earned the right to keep on going, and I've earned my life back. And so that is my mindset going into this fight. I'm going to fight and win my life back.
I know you're a bit of an honorable sort, so hopefully you won't mind if I give you a little boost so you don't shuffle off to the afterlife too soon.
Well, no, I don't mind, but I mean, I've also got this. And you see him pull out one of the last potions of heroism from before.
He'll give you a nod.
I appreciate you having my back. It's just, if I can lighten your load so you can better look after the others. One less thing for you to worry about, right?
Oh. I'll do my best. As long as everyone stays within the lights, I should be able to keep you safe.
We'll be fine. Excuse me. And I forgot, I've got 10 flasks of alchemist fire. Do we want to spread those around as well?
I can take one off your hand, one or two.
Okay. You want one or two?
I'll take two.
Okay. It's probably just going to be easiest if you just put them on your sheet, and I'll just deduct. Does Lotus want some flasks of alchemist fire? I mean, she likes, playing with fire, likes throwing shit.
Yeah, sure.
How many would you like?
Well, I still plan on using my spells, so I think I'll be good with just one.
Okay. And does Avalis, do they have a fire bug in them?
The only reason I'd say no is just because if I go into B shape, I can't use items, and so I'd hate for them to be
Fair enough.
unusable. Yeah.
But again, I just didn't want, to not share the tools that were required.
Very much appreciate it. Yeah.
Damon, if you would like, I can help lighten your load with the amount of potion vials you have on you. As I'm sure you're aware, I'm quite a fan of all forms of artifice. Akia 13 would say.
Right. How many vials do you want of the alchemist fire?
If you would allow, I will take 2 vials. I have
All right.
an idea of how to use them.
Jamin will give over 2 vials of the alchemist fire, leaving him with 5. And he's kind of thinking that maybe he needs to like daisy chain them together so he can just like smash all of them at once in a hag's face.
That would be super dope.
In that case, Gaiman will go get some extra rope.
You find a very suspicious-looking one-eyed man with a haunted look on his face to sell you rope. But his story isn't a Nether campaign. That's the crossover I'm looking for. So you are
you
all
buying?
able to.
Or you can sell it.
He's got one eye. Is he also missing an arm? And has a rope snake. I'm not talking about his penis, but he has a legit snake that will turn into rope and then back to a snake again.
Yes. But we're not talking about his penis either.
Sorry,
Anyways.
Will.
You are all able to set out from Bryn Shander on the backs of your sleds. Far in the distance, the caverns loom ominously. Their dark maws seemingly swallowing the last bits of dim light in the skies over Icewind Dale. Fortunately, your adventure is going to take place in complete darkness. You did not hit the sweet spot of light when you get there. The journey is silent, save for the occasional creak from the sled or the distant howl of wolves. As you grow... Oh, go ahead.
I said, would you like me to chime in now, or did you have something in mind?
No, I was just setting the scene. If you would like to fill the time with your adventure in the Nine Hells, please.
All right. I'd say sort of prepare yourself for this. Lotus will take out cigarette from her side pack, put it in her mouth, and snap her fingers like you see her usually do. Use prestidigitation to light it. Take a long drag. Blow smoke out into the air. Say, so, the person you saw called himself the Gentleman, took me down to this place called the Ruby Palace, where Asmodeus resides, and I shared a cigarette and some conversation with him, and he did make me an offer. He offered to let me meet my father again, and not just to see him encased in that block of ice where he's imprisoned. No, he said that I would actually be able to talk with him again. But of course, as you can imagine, he was not willing to do this completely selflessly. He wanted me to do a favor for him.
And that favor?
Well, there's a minion of his who is in Revel's End prison here in Icewind Dale. He wants me to go in and free this minion. Doing so means that I would be able to see my father again. And he has given me a time limit, fairly generous though, a month from yesterday.
What more can you tell us about this inmate? Any
Uh,
reason for why they would be there?
I imagine probably the idea is that, well, it's probably good information gathering for him, from what I can tell. Having someone on the inside of a prison, and probably a good way to make more offers such as this. It's like a lot of people desperate to get out of prison will probably do almost anything. But I imagine this one is probably at the end of their stint helping out, so wants them back. But he did give me a couple tools to help, and you see her reach inside pack and pull out what appears to be a key. He said, "Give me this." And this isn't just a normal key. He says that this can be used to open any arcane lock.
Orf, can I make a history check about this prison? See if there's anything
Absolutely.
that Alicia would know about it, this location and whatnot.
Absolutely. And as you're making that check, you all notice something very interesting. That is that an owl has been hanging around near Lotus this entire time.
But that would have been very useful.
Avos will speak to it.
It kind of talks like this. It says, "Hoot, hoot, 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 hoot." That's kind of the accent it gives you when it's speaking owl.
So it has smokers. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Are inspirations used for rerolls in this game or advantage?
If you want to spend one of your inspirations to gain advantage on that one, I'm okay with that. So I would say you would know Revels in Prison is this setting's equivalent to the Raft from the Marvel films, to the Phantom Zone from DC. It is the prison where they hold all of the most dangerous criminals of the Sword Coast. If you are at all that kind of criminal, you're going there because you're dangerous. It is also in a very isolated location within Icewind Dale. So if you do go there and you just try to escape, it's very likely that you will die before you're able to get anywhere if you just escape and run over the walls. So there's been a lot of reported attempts at escape, but the people usually die within a few hundred feet, or excuse me, a few hundred miles of the prison itself, and are found pretty quickly.
Yeah, I would tell that to everyone. So we can definitely say, unless this person somehow was wrongly accused of whatever got them locked up, they're quite
It involves a
dangerous.
fucking devil or a demon, whatever the fuck we're dealing with. It's not wrongfully accused.
Hoot, 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 hoot. The owl is looking quite agitated. Avalos, it's owl dialect. It's very strange to you in how it's speaking. Hoot, 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 hoot.
So am I, as I talk to it with the spell, am I getting that it is just a transfigured something else? I'll say to it in common, "What are you, for you are no owl."
Lotus will hold up her hand and say, like, "No, Avlis, it's all right. This is the other thing that Asmodeus gave me to keep an eye on me and to let him know when I have completed my task. You can show yourself to them. It's all right."
I thought I was going to be able to keep my cover. I didn't know that you were going to have a person who is fluent in owl dialects with you. I should have picked a different shape. And
it wouldn't have mattered.
That could have been something not as conspicuous as this beautiful barn owl. shows you its feathers. It turns back into its normal shape of an imp.
I don't think Avalos has ever seen an imp, so he's like, kill it with fire. No, he's like, what is that?
Fire's not gonna really work. That's an imp. They are, well, on the scale of things, one of the lowest of devils. Usually companions to people that do rather menial tasks. But, like all fiends, they are dubious in nature.
Avalos will call up Star Whisper with like a snap.
From your ear, a billowing cloud of effervescent, rainbow-colored smoke will appear.
It comes out of my ear. Oh, Jesus.
Every time.
He will look at Star Whisper and say, keep an eye on that imp.
The fox will say to you, yip, 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 or to the party, yip, 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 yip. But to you hear say, of course, master. I will ensure that no harm comes from such a dubious creature. And the imp will narrow its eyes at her because it can understand her language.
Yeah.
And they look at each other as two familiars who don't necessarily like each other from the beginning would stare at each other.
You watch us, we watch you.
They both give each other the point fingers at eyes, point fingers back to the other person gesture.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned about this thing hovering over us. Though I trust you know what you're doing, Lurks.
Well, of course, the reason I bring this up to all of you is because, well, I know it's asking a lot, and I know it may be selfish of me to do so, but this is a rather dangerous place, and as confident as I am in my arcane abilities, I just don't feel like I could be able to do this on my own.
In the wise words of Gaiman, I would tell the imp to fuck off and burn it with radiant fire, but I will restrain myself. And I'll just give you a nod.
I appreciate you not killing me right off the get-go. I'm kind of a package deal for your friend Lotus here. I'm here to ensure that it all goes off without a hitch.
There's an unspoken or else there.
Yeah, I mean, if she does not achieve the contract she wrote out with my master, Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine, well, she will no longer have the ability to meet her father through the official channels of the Nine Hells.
Gaiman, he is not good at this, but he feels that he should incite this creature. And I will use an examspiration to do it.
Oh, yes. With a 7.
Go
ahead.
No, I was just laughing at it. I was like, at least it wasn't a critical failure.
Mm-hmm. With a 7, you believe this creature is telling the truth. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You've heard that devils are lawful evil. They don't roll up on any of that deception stuff. They're all about contracts and laws. This guy seems to follow suit.
I probably see that look on Gaiman's face as he's kind of wondering and just kind of lean over to him. We probably at least want to check the fine print to make sure that there's nothing else that's fishy along with the deal.
All right.
They will hold to the letter of whatever contract they've written, but they may have thrown in something extra in there.
That's the concern, that the letter is followed, but not the spirit.
Well,
Not to mention, as you said, fine print.
right. Well, are we ready?
Right. Well, I appreciate you all going along with this.
Lotus,
Yes?
if you default on this bargain, is there any additional cost you must pay?
As far as I'm aware, I will no longer have the key, nor the watchful eye of our new friend here. And, as he said, I will no longer be able to see my father through any official channels through the Hells.
But no other additional cost to pay, no rider.
Read through the contract myself, and as far as I'm aware, there aren't any.
I know little of it myself, but Michonne was telling me that making deals with the Hells often only benefits the devils themselves. I'm sure that's mild pillow talk for them.
Oh, for sure. In between thrusts, she's like, "The devils, they want your soul." Oh. She's a weird lady.
Very. I feel like that kind of pillow talk conversation would be, kind of a boner killer.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's very interesting. The things you guys get off to in there.
Atlas doesn't know any different. He thinks that's what it is.
As you bring that up, Avalis, you do see Lotus like she is in thought, and she takes another drag from the cigarette and says, before we actually started discussing this, he did ask me a rather interesting question. He asked me if I would sell my soul to stop all war.
And what was your response?
Well, I did think it over, and, well, I was pretty doubtful that he would be able to do such a thing, even with whatever power he has, because it seems like it's...
Cut to the chase.
All right. I told him that I would, because, well, as a journalist, I feel it's my responsibility to use my voice to speak up for those who can't speak for themselves, and if I could end, poverty, death, suffering.
You realize that, ending a war could just mean a matter of you snap your fingers and everybody on both sides is dead. That ends war too.
And what about the blood war?
True, that's another thing. He could just, to end war, he could just enlist you automatically as a soldier within the blood war, and you fight eternally until it ends, which it is called the Eternal Blood War for a reason.
Well,
and then again, there's nothing saying he couldn't just say he would end all current wars and then the next day start them all back up again.
You all do have good points. He is definitely the clever sort, but...
Wato will ask a question. When he presented this to you, was it in the form of a written exam type essay, or was it more of a casual conversation? I ask for, hopefully, the latter, not the former.
It was just a conversation. He said it was a sort of thoughts experiment.
Oh, I'm glad. I could see how, if you wrote out, I would sell my soul to end all wars, to the Lord of the Devils, that somehow he could say that it was a written contract of some type, and I would be very sad.
You're forgetting the verbal contract as well.
Watto will turn to the group and ask, I'm not so well versed in the contracts of devils. Is that how they operate? Can they operate on a verbal contract only?
Orf, would you say I have that knowledge based on my thing?
Yes, and your skill as a cleric, your knowledge of religion, just using your passive, you know that devils, unlike fey creatures or archfey, can't simply trick you into a contract like that, or trick you into giving up your soul. They work on a much harsher set of rules. They have to spell it out for you. They have to give you all of the legalese. You have to be able to read through the contract.
It has to be a willing exchange, and if you still agree to it, that's on you.
Mm-hmm. Versus if he was an archfey, if you said, I would sell my soul to end all wars,
they could evil genie that shit.
They would evil genie you.
Yeah. With an archfey, it could be something as simple as eating fey food, and all of a sudden you're in a contract and you're bound to the plane or something. Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? I just drank some tea.
Why are you saying my visa's been revoked? What do you mean I can't get back into the country?
You have what's it called? You have contraband in your colon there. Can't come in. So as this goes forward, you all have a kind of an interesting sight out ahead of you, and I will take you all the map. Not shown on the map is all of your companions. They and the dog sleds. They have stopped just out of purview, allowing you all to approach this at your own discretion. A rowboat, untethered in the water, amidst some small ice floes, not far from the 80-foot-high cliffs that aboot the shoreline. The mouths of several caves dot the snowy cliffside. One of these caves is at water level, and the others are elevated 20 to 50 feet above the frozen lake. The wind tearing through these icy caves sounds like moaning. But out in front of you, you can see this rowboat.
Oh, we've arrived at Lake Dinishar?
Correct.
Okay, so that conversation was happening as we were traveling.
Yep.
Okay.
It was one of those. You get in the car and you're like, all right, guys, we're heading to Milwaukee. And you get on one topic and you're like, man, it took us 6 hours to talk about that. And then someone looks at you and says, yeah, man, that's what happens when you go to the 9 Hells. It is roughly 5:30 p.m.
Is the hag supposedly around Lake Dinishar? Is that?
That is correct. Gaiman has that information for you all from him looking into this when he was going all manhunter on the drug dealers in and around two towns.
If we think the encounter is imminent, I have some preparations to make.
All right, let's make him quick.
All right. Avalos will kind of sit down and go into like a, kind of druidic little phase here where he's invoking Sylvanas and casting a bunch of stuff. And all of a sudden, a huge smoke cloud appears, and he will conjure woodland beings to summon a sea hag.
Okay.
Because that is challenge rating 2. Yeah. I figured one fake creature.
Options. Yep.
I figure hag to find a hag. So. Or fight a hag. Might not hurt.
Let me pull one of these bad boys out of the old compendium.
And he'll warn everybody, do not worry. She will be under our control. But I would not look directly at her.
That's easy enough to do.
That's
Keenan
what you
steals a
see.
glance and is immediately just like, oh god, that one's a bad one.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Lotus will start gagging a little bit, like, ugh, that smell, ugh.
Hello, Magic One. Thank you for answering my summons.
I am bound to carry your burdens. What are we doing here?
We wish for you to help us find another hag. And he looks back. Destroy her? Yes,
Keenan nods.
that is your mission.
Ah, I see. Well, my hag senses are tingling towards, and she turns towards the cave that is from your current position, roughly 400 meters. On this map, it would be to the south. The cave mouth that is on the ground, not one of the super high ones that are up above the lake.
All right.
I don't know why he didn't add it, but this should be concentration for me. So,
I have disabled the combat utility belt. That was the module that instantly creates concentration because it is no longer being actively updated for Foundry 11. It still works. However, because it's not actively being developed, it could cause module interactions that aren't great. So it has been replaced by a different mod. So if we do cast a concentration spell, you will need to give yourself the concentration status.
done.
So the hag is currently doing a bird dog type point and shuffle towards the opening of that cave. Does anyone check out the rowboat or no?
I will do that probably in a bit, but first, Alicia's gonna walk over to Gaiman and be like, just to make sure you don't fall during this, and it's going to spend the 4th level spell slot for Death Ward on So for the next 8 hours, if you drop, you go down to 1 instead. Then we also got a fan spell from Pockets, so we're up to 4.
Thank you, Pockets.
Thank you.
Gaiman will take a peek at the rowboat. And so
Okay.
he thought that we were going to have to use it.
As you approach the robot, here's
got some
what
mimic.
you. No, I can't. I can't.
Wouldn't
do
be
that
the
to you
first
guys
time.
another time in this campaign. That wouldn't be copacetic. Inside the rowboat, you find 4 oars, 4 sets of fishing tackle, and a dozen empty and broken alcohol bottles. You also can see a faded name on the side of the boat. The faded name speaks Bunch o' Knuckleheads is the name of this fine vessel. And as you look from the rowboat, you see that there is still faint footprints leading from the rowboat to that cave mouth that your hag summon is pointing at, bird dog style.
So Gaiman's done a lot of drinking in his time. I mean, a lot. Can he like kind of smell the pile of broken alcohol bottles and smell the boat to get a sense of like how fresh and maybe how much alcohol has been consumed? Assuming there are 4 guys.
Yes, yes, you can. Judging from the boat, the amount of alcohol bottles, and what you see in the boat, this is a recent crash landing. The likelihood is that this has happened within the last 2 to 5 days. Those footprints not being completely hidden by snow means that this area hasn't been hit hard by snowfall or by a blizzard or something of the sort. That means that the footprints leading from those boats could be either people who may still be alive or, hopefully, people that you could still recover and bring back to Two Towns.
See which.
Gaiman will turn around and walk back to the others. Well, judging by the smell of booze from that skiff there, there's probably 4 fresh corpses in that hag's lair. Hard to guess. Or maybe they've gotten tremendously lucky, only got lost in the cabins, and maybe they're still alive. But looking back at the boat and seeing the name, 4 knuckleheads have gone wandering into from the gaping maw hell. I think we gotta go save some people.
See which, have you any advice as we fight another of your kind?
Yes, if you can. Fight her with your eyes on the floor. We like to do a move like this. And she removes her top to show you her sea hag tits. And you believe if she wished, she would have burned your eyes out. As she flops them around like 2 dead salmon, and make a horrible slocking noise.
I hate you.
Me as the DM or the
yes, that is that's gonna linger. Thanks.
Did you have to? Did you have to let it linger? I like to sing that song when I fart into a room.
So, like she said, then, do not look at the hag directly.
And be aware, some hags, depending on what kind they are, can just make you instantly die if you happen to be afraid of them. So if you can, make yourself immune to fear.
Would have been good to know when I was choosing spells.
Yeah, same here.
The Curb Your Enthusiasm theme starts playing.
Gang fights a hag.
Shit. Well, I think the best I got is Bless for y'all. Or Beacon of Hope that will give you advantage on Wisdom save. So
yeah, I'll do something. I don't really have anything magic wise, unfortunately, that'll help me out with that. But I imagine like in character, Lotus would probably say something along the lines of like, I sat across from the King of the Nine Hells, and I spent God knows how long being the victim of several mind flayers. I think I can handle an old woman.
It's not just an old woman. It's a bloody hag, all right? I imagine, the chutzpah, Lotus. But worst thing we can do in this situation is underestimate our enemy. We must respect our foe and treat them with the courtesy and death blows they deserve.
Thankfully, we have one of our own. That should help the odds a little bit.
Knowledge is power.
Indeed.
Oh.
But if you don't mind, I think I'll keep respectable distance from that one. Ugh. And
Do we call
breathe
it
through my
Hagatha?
mouth.
All right, is there anything else we're trying to do right now?
The harpy will say, or excuse me, the hag will say, well, we probably should worry about that. And she points up to the sky, and you see several creatures flying through the air towards you, exiting out of one of the caves. She's like, those don't look like they're friendly. And in the air, you see 3 eagles. Wait, are they eagles? They have the body of lions, but the face of a territorial, predatory bird. Their feathers, as blue as the deepest sapphires. You see these creatures, and I will highlight them.
Ooh, pretty.
They appear to be griffins. Flying next to them in the air, you see women that have bird wings. They look like this.
Less pretty.
They are flying towards your position. They appear like they want to fuck you up.
He'll turn to the hag and say, make them afraid. And he'll turn to Gaiman and say, do you want to fly?
Listen, I think if we can get to cover, that will be better. That way we're not wasting time and resources trying to fight that long. Come on, let's jog on. Let's get into that cave. Let's try and avoid this fight. We have to save ourselves for the main event.
Can we dash and make it to the Sea Hag's cave in time?
We will, if your group is the first in initiative, you could potentially rush to the cave. If not, we will have to indulge this battle that is to occur, which it could be quite dangerous.
So who has good speed?
I don't think any of us.
I have a +2.
Same.
Same.
+3 here, and in terms of movement, I just have my standard speed, but I do have Misty Step.
Same.
All right. Let's see what RNG has in store for us. So are we just having a, we're all rolling initiative, seeing what happens?
Correct.
I would
So
say
here,
Lotus,
I'll roll
if
the
you want-
NPCs in.
Lotus, if you want to use a fan spell to get advantage on that, I'm good with it. You have 4.
All right.
Oof.
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and do that.
21.2. Can I throw in my Faxpiration to try and bump that number?
You definitely could. And Avalis got a 22.
Or Avalis can be a boss.
Gets a nat 20.
What?
So Avalis, you, thanks to the Sea Hags, it's almost like it was meant to be. The Sea Hags warning can point out a gap in their attack strategy, and you guys could run up towards the cave mouth to try to prevent this fight from happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Avis will point it out to everybody, and we'll just dash with the hag.
Excellent. So you all begin to dash forward towards the entrance of the cave. The griffins and harpies decide that other prey are going to be more suitable for them this evening. So they will exit initiative, and I will remove them from the map. And oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just you.
And I'm going to view this scene. Make sure everything. Oh, view the scene. And then put you guys where I want you. Here we go. As you rush forward, you notice a few things that are kind of interesting about this cave. Number one, the air that is rushing out of the cave sounds exactly like moaning humans. The other thing that you notice that is slightly odd is that there is a scent coming from within the cave. It smells spicy, like something cooking coming from within it.
Can Gaming make a history check, I guess, to see if it smells like hag crystal?
Absolutely. You can have advantage on this check as well. Natural 20, that is the smell of cooking hag crystal without a shadow of a doubt.
After getting whiff of it, I kind of feel like smelling it on the air. Ooh. Okay. Gaming will warn everybody of the dangers of hag crystal. Yet, like if it gets in the air, don't don't breathe it in. If it gets on you, get it off you. Be very careful around it. And this is a strong smell, I'm guessing.
Yes, it is. I would say applicable to if you've ever been to a Indian restaurant and right outside you get those deep hints of strong cooking spices. It is like that mixed with someone's meth lab. That's the kind of smell that you guys are getting from this cave.
Okay. I don't know how many days it's been since Gaiman's had a hit, but he's an addict. He's a recovering addict. I feel like we got to roll for some shit, Orpheus. Like, this has got to affect him, maybe, depending on his strength of will.
Absolutely. I will say, because you're in recovery, you have solved this issue. You also have been hit by a gigantic wave of purifying magical energy from defeating that giant Chardalyn dragon. So I will give you a Constitution saving throw as you smell this spicy meth concoction at advantage to avoid any sort of relapse that might be triggering.
But I feel like, this encounter, this experience warrants it.
Mm-hmm. Gaiman almost does a perfect job here. For the moment, you're not drawn back into your obsession. Oh, Hagatha, that is right. Hold on, man.
Also, what's our marching order here?
Yeah, I just put you down on the map. And when you guys arrive to the front, before you, the cave mouth is sealed by a translucent barrier of shimmering ice. Impervious, yet ethereal. Surrounding it, you see 4 mystical glyphs, each pulsing gently with arcane energy. Each of these glyphs glows with a distinct color: red, blue, brown, and white. Beneath the glyphs, barely visible, is an inscription written in an ancient language.
Is it potentially Druidic or Sylvan?
As you read it, Avalis, It is neither in Sylvan or Druidic. As you look at it, Gaiman, and see, is it in Giant? Is it indeed in Giant?
Actually, oof. Gaiman would have spoken Giant, but he wouldn't have learned it. Like his language, his reading ability only came about recently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I can't. I honestly, considering how I've built the character, I can't say that he knows how to read Giant unless he studied Giant in his downtime, like in the month's downtime.
So here's what I will offer Gaiman in this time, because I believe that completely makes sense. Because there are a lot of people out there who can speak a language but cannot read it.
Yeah, because he would have spoken it and would be fluent in it from growing up, but it wouldn't have been necessarily written around him. Plus, he was a dummy and he didn't know how to read Common until recently.
But I will offer Gaiman advantage on checks made during this small challenge because, well, he may not read the language. He might understand parts of the clues that might help his fellow adventurers.
What kind of check do you need me to make?
So here are different things that you could do. You could do an Arcana check. You could do a history or nature check, and then finally you could do an investigation check. All of those are obviously intelligence based. Those are the avenues that you all could attempt to go after to try to figure out what is going on with this strange series of glyphs that are glowing different colors in the language of the giants.
Alice will turn to Hagatha and ask if she knows anything about that. Like maybe she can give us advantage.
She looks to you and she says, honey, maybe if it had something like Fey Wild about it or Haggy about it, I would, but this has all the giant stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know shit about no giants.
Listen, I can try and help and translate. I could try sounding it out. I feel like a stupid child. But if anyone who, might be magically inclined between my limited understanding and perhaps, what magic may be emanating from the glyphs, we could make, a stab at, trying to understand the arcane nature of this.
All right, I guess I could take a look at it, and Lewis will step forward, and I would say, with a combination of just her knowledge that she's picked up in her research at the Bryn Shander Library, along with the magical scanning abilities of the Flavia Mask, to arcane analyze it and see what she might be able to find out.
Absolutely.
And can Avalis do a nature check because the colors feel sort of elementally to him?
Yes. So you could do an Arcana check from our friend Lotus and a nature check from our friend Avalis to get different pieces of information.
I'll give guidance to Lotus.
All right. All right, tell you what, let me go ahead and I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and spend my Faxpiration here. 13.
Okay, a 13. I can tell you, Lotus, what you have learned from this. You recognize that the arcane glyphs have a connection to elemental magic, and the glyphs can likely be interacted with based on their sequencing of colors of red, blue, brown, and white. You believe, based on their colors, red is connected to fire, blue is connected to water, brown is connected to earth, white is connected to air. That is what you know from your checks.
All right. So Yep. What she'll see in like the heads up display, she'll see that the, like the little readouts like here. All right. You see her looking over interesting. Looks like the colors here will respond to different elemental magic powers. Red is fire, blue is water, brown is earth, and white is air. And she'll point to each of them as she says this to everyone.
Does a 19 nature give Avalos any additional information?
Oh, and I missed that you got the 19th in nature there. So Lotus provides that information.
And if a 20 would, if you guys want me to spend my facts, I can make it over above a 20, and we might get even more. Okay, all right, we'll stick with 19.
A 19 will tell you. You are coming from a Yeti culture. Yetis are giants, essentially. They're like a weird line between monstrosity and giant, and they worship the giant god of winter. And so you're pretty well versed that giants are connected to nature, to the elements, and most of their rituals revolve around them as well. Based on this, what Lotus has said is true, that she was not incorrect in the glyph's connection to the natural elements. Based on your check, you will have to sequence these glyphs correctly to make the door open.
And there's no hint as to what the order is from what I got?
Your check does not reveal what order you should click them in, just that they need to be clicked in the right order. Perhaps if someone could read the clue that's in giant below.
Would Yeti give me a chance at disadvantage to read it?
Well, here's
all right. I'll roll an investigation. God damn it.
I was going to say, here's the fun part. You have one person who can speak giant, one person who might be able to read part of it. You guys can like try to put your noggin together
Yeah.
and figure this biz out. You're like the two people in my Japanese class. The one person who could speak it, sounding reasonably well, but have no idea what actually any of the words mean. That was me. And then the people who sounded like a Midwestern person speaking Japanese, but actually knew what they were saying. That was my friend Evan. Anyways.
All right, I'm going to burn a demon inspiration and roll with advantage. Wait, you were already giving me advantage, weren't you?
I think so.
I was going to award you advantage because of your history with the giant language.
All right, let's do an investigation.
I will provide guidance to you on that.
Lotus flies by in her Lotus copter and yells guidance and throws a guidance sheet down on you.
26.
All right, with a 26, with some help from your friend Atlas, who speaks Yeti, from your time speaking giant as a child, you know the inscription. Here's what it says. From fleeting flame to steadfast stone, the path is shaped as water roams. That is what the inscription says in giant.
Can you post that?
I can.
Please.
It sounded like there was no mention of air, so that
that's
blaster
why
just
I'm
left off.
rereading this to make sure I'm not missing something. I mean, if you didn't know how to read it, it would make sense that you would give a false option. From fleeting flame to steadfast stone, the path is shaped as water roams. Assuming the whole thing doesn't, like, attack us Yeah, I guess we hit the flame glyph, then the stone glyph, and then the water glyph. And
I have cantrips of all 4 elements, if that helps.
well, that begs the question then, Avalis, do we want to activate it magically? Like maybe that's part of it, which stands to reason that would keep some sorts out. Like if I wasn't here with you lot, and if it required magic, I couldn't get it to open. It's a potential defensive measure.
True, but would that be something the giants would do then?
Some of the giants can be pretty clever. Not every giant's a hill giant.
True. I have heard magic amongst the kind of storm and okay, I guess I can try.
Yeah. You lot get step back a safe distance, and Avalis and I will try and open this up.
All right, so Avalis will step forward. He'll have Hagatha step back, and he will cast he'll do Firebolt, then Stone, so he'll do Thorn Whip, then Water, he'll do Ray of Frost.
And are you casting these on which glyphs?
So Firebolt on the red one.
Mm-hmm.
Then he will cast Thorn Whip on the brown one, and then he will cast Ray of Frost on the blue one.
As your magic hits the glyphs, they light up in response. After your last spell is cast, they grow dim, and the wall still remains in front of you.
Do you think the path is shaped could possibly refer to air?
Air currents?
All right, he'll try again, starting out the same. Firebolt on the red, Thorn Whip on brown, Shocking Grasp on white, and then Ray of Frost on blue.
Okay, as you cast your 4 spells, the glyphs all light up, and then they grow dim once again. Your ally, Akia, looks to you all and says, I think we are missing one thing, my friends. I believe the riddle is it is explaining it, but in only a part-way fashion. I believe what the riddle is saying is it's speaking of how water travels from one state to another.
Yeah, but what is the where do you start? I mean, if we're talking about water, we got ice, then we got liquid, and then we got gaseous.
Yes. And we could expand
And
upon
then
that.
it's application of heat that goes through those phases. So do you think you'll be fire, then earth, then water, then air? Wait, didn't we just do it in that order?
OOC, did you guys do it in that order? I was trying.
We did fire, earth, air, water.
Wait, no.
Because we did 3. First we did fire, earth, water, and then we did fire, earth, air, water. Do you want me to do fire, earth, water, air?
Yeah, do it that way.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat everything again?
No,
yeah.
So you go fire, earth, air,
water, then air.
So you do it the correct way. You give heat to ice, which then evaporates it, and then it turns back into water. When it gets collected up and condensates, turns to rain. And here's what happens. The effervescent shielding door drops from in front of you, providing a path forward into the cave.
Yeah, those 4 knuckleheads were definitely taken. I don't think in a drunken state they could have gotten past that. Unless, of course, Orpheus, the boat was giant-sized?
The rowboat was human size.
Okay. Just didn't want to roll anything out.
When you enter the cave, you hear a whistle kind of like this. Lotus, you can detect that that whistle is coming from this cave entrance here.
She'll put a finger to her lips, just sort of so everyone stays quiet, and then she'll point in that direction, and she'll point in that direction.
Or if I'm trying to find the stuff that I had divined a few days back, something about how we could safely travel her labyrinth. Can't remember what that answer was. It was something about oh, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to figure out where it was posted.
We did. I thought did we post it in the Discord?
I don't know if it was posted in Discord. I know we definitely did talk about it. I just don't remember if it was posted in Discord.
Let's see.
So I know I posted my question in the to-do list channel.
I will dig back through my notes for the answers for those, and then I will post those in the Discord.
Thanks.
But you do hear that whistle coming from within those caves to the south.
Hagatha, would you take... I'm sorry. I don't nearly know her name, but will you take the lead and try to lock eyes onto the hag?
My... what is it? I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Let me configure ownership to you. Gibby, you should now be able to control the token. However, I'm going to change the token to a different asset.
Oh, she's homeopathic. That's nice.
Also, while that's going on, I'm going to use this ability.
Feeling light.
So
Excellent.
I'm under the effects of seeing visibility, and everyone else who's within 10 feet of me are also under the... Wait. Yep, everyone else who's within 10 feet of me also benefits from seeing visibility. And I already have light on, so I'm already emitting light.
Oh,
You're like a glowworm.
that's super cool.
So yeah, I'm going to try and keep everyone within 10 feet of me.
Akia says, I'm sorry, I was still viewing the perfectness that was that effervescent tramp. I will follow Avalos.
Move, hag, move.
Oh, is she not moving?
Oh, no, she's fine. She just hit a wall.
Oh.
All right,
and
do a
I
room
can't
kind of
see her
opened up.
anymore. Where did she go?
She's just in front of Avalis, 15 feet.
What?
In the middle of this room, did anything... I mean, there's a big old skeleton in the middle.
Yes. So here's what happens upon entering this room. As you look about, you see that there are bones littering the floor. Several torn pieces of winter clothing shroud these bones. You see broken fishing poles, empty boxes of fishing tackle, and the various effects of what appear to be dead fishermen from the land of 10 towns.
I think we found our rambunctious boys.
The cave, a maw of darkness, filled with bitter winds. Emerging from the shadows of the room, a creature emerges. And let me put that creature out. Oh, and as I was pulling it out, its token broke. Give me 1 second to apply the token to it that it should have. Excellent. So, from the shadows appears a creature whose lips are oddly pursed, pushing out the sound that you hear, this strange whistling. You see a 10-foot by 10-foot wolf with pristine white fur. Its breath forming icy clouds in the frigid air. Its voice, a low rumble, echoes through the cave. Many have entered. Few have left. If passage you seek, a test you shall meet. Fail and join the bones at your feet.
I suppose we have time to rhyme and will best your test.
I like you, it says. So the Winter Wolf steps forward and presents this challenge to you. Does the party agree to enter the challenge with the Winter Wolf, or do you try to escape from the cave, or do you try to attack the Winter Wolf? What do you do, party?
I'm willing to see what this is about.
Yeah, not wanting to attack it just yet.
Definitely on guard.
Yeah. Game is kind of over the bullshit, but Avalis seems keen to test wits.
Go ahead, put faith in the guy that was raised by Yeti. It'll be fine.
It's been fine so far.
I mean, his wisdom is outrageously high.
See?
His intelligence, surprisingly average.
Listen, I mean, Gambit's supposed to have an intelligence of 19. Like this is like verging on like Sherlock Holmes level apparently, and I can't do that, not for real. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, laid on us, Orf.
The Winter Wolf says, "You must pass the test of the 3 Howls in order to proceed. If you fail, you will join the bones at my feet. They will challenge your past, your present, and your future. Please let me know when you are ready to begin."
May as well.
Alice will look to everybody and kind of look for their nod. Assuming no one objects.
No objections here.
Let's do it.
We are ready.
Ghostly apparitions begin to appear from the floor as you feel the ground begin to shake and quake slightly. Looking behind you, Lotus, you see that the passageway behind you has been sealed.
Like, guys, looks like we're not getting back out that way.
As you all look about, the ghostly apparitions become familiar to you. You notice them as people of 10 towns, those who did not survive the attack of the dragon. Gaiman, you see among these apparitions your people. The people of the mountain, killed by the Duergar. Similarly, Avalis, you see ghostly Eladrin, people who did not survive among their number. They all look at you with haunted expressions. Their mouths gaunt, their eyes sunken into their ethereal skin. The Winter Wolf looks to you, Avalis. Your first challenge. The Howl of the Past. The Winter Wolf licks its lips as its eyes glow in the darkness. And it begins to speak. Born from ancient words I rise. Silence is my domain. Invisibly, I touch the skies. Pain, I ordain. Neither beast nor fleeting bird, yet I can fly. Guess my name. Say the word, or face what's held in store.
Born from ancient words I rise. Silence is my domain. Invisibly I took the skies. Pain I ordain. Neither beast nor fleeting bird, yet I fly. Okay.
Would you be able to post it or in the chat?
Absolutely. And this is, I know it made it sound like this was a challenge, maybe just for Avalis, but this is a challenge for everyone. Anyone can help. I had cap locks on, excuse me. One friend. And yes, this is the whistle from Puss in Boots.
Yeah. I was like, why does it sound so familiar?
Are we allowed to
open?
Yes, the Last Wish.
Yeah, the second movie.
Alice asks the wolf if they can openly discuss.
It nods.
The only thing I can think of is either some sort of like a rumor or a secret, possibly a curse.
Word by Rime. This guy. Yeah. Rumor seems like a good word.
It could be a whisper, could be a memory.
My domain. Whispers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Do we want to say that's the final word on that?
Oh no. Just discussing amongst ourselves. Sorry.
Okay. Well, let's just do it OOC. That's maybe easier. I was thinking maybe wind or air. Born from ancient words, I rise. So some, air rises, wind rises, and it's it's an old concept. The 4 elements. Silence is my domain. Air is technically silent, invisible. I touch the skies. I am the skies. Pain I ordain. So wind can be cutting and painful, and wind can fly, if you will. It's not, fauna.
Neither burst
but
nor
I feel,
bird, yet I fly, air.
But it's that face what's held in store. I feel like that's significant, but I don't know what that pertains to. Unless that's just sort of like the guess this right and you move on to the next riddle sort of deal.
Yeah, I think that's the next part, or mentions the next part. How did born from ancient words I rise? It could certainly be the wind.
And OOC, you can attempt to mechanically figure out a hint here. If you all want to attempt that mechanically, you could do a group history or a group insight. If you do group history, I need at least, we will say 3 out of 4 to succeed. If it's group insight, 3 out of 4 to succeed, and I will give you a hint.
I'm much better at insight with my wisdom, yo.
So it all has to be one same check?
Correct.
Okay. I'm good with either of those.
Intelligence is my strong suit. Wisdom is dead nuts even.
How about Lotus?
She's got must have better intelligence because our Arcana roll would have been pretty strong. So I feel, you know what? Let's do wisdom. Let's make a call. Let's do wisdom. Insight. We'll just all roll insight.
All right, I'm
Sound
with
good?
that. It's my higher. It's my higher of the two, but I'm good with either. So
I mean,
I'll
I'm
roll.
not negative in it, so let's just go for it.
Damn. Okay. And then we need one from Lotus. If they are here.
Morpheus, would me throwing in a Faxpiration potentially get me over a certain threshold?
Yes, with a Faxpiration die of your guys' current level, you have a very good chance of succeeding on this. And I will tell you if possible, if you could succeed at a cost.
Does
Okay.
Atlas
Right now,
feel he needs?
You have 2 successes so far.
Okay.
All right. So that's a D8 or D10?
It's a D8. You have
15, baby.
3 successes. Just in case. I don't know if Marcus stepped away.
I saw him. Yep.
Oh. I'll take the second one from Marcus. That was probably them rolling. So you guys have the 3 out of the 4 successes. Your hint from your insight check. A spirit whispers into your ear. Think of the things that bite at your face invisibly in Icewind Dale. That's your spirit clue. The things that bite at your face.
Yeah, that sounds like wind.
Sounds like wind. Yeah. Everyone agreed.
Sounds good.
Our answer
No,
is
let's get ready for a fight.
yeah. Our answer is the wind.
The wind is the correct answer. The whistling wolf nods in approval. The ghostly apparitions, one by one, begin to pop, leaving behind remnants of their ghosty, ectoplasmic goo on the walls of the cavern, somehow perfectly missing the winter wolf. If you would like to avoid being gooed, you can give me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. This is with advantage.
Yeah, you see it coming.
Literally coming.
Oh no! Okay, so Gaiman definitely doesn't get gooed. It looks like Alicia is going to get gooed. Lotus is not gooed. Avalis is gooed. Akia is not gooed. So far, only Alicia and Avalis have been gooed.
I've had worse.
The Winter Wolf says, many have failed the test of the first howl. Let us continue to the howl of the present. There's a spooky ghost. The cave begins to tremble. Not shown on the map. A massive scene of icy platforms rises from the ground, creating an almost labyrinthine trail of these icy platforms winding upwards towards a lip in the cave. The platforms are unstable and slippery, with some appearing more treacherous than others. The Winter Wolf says, this is the howl of the present. The icy ascent. You will need to use your bodies, as they currently are, to make your way up to me on the lip. If you succeed, you will face the final challenge If you fail, you will fall to your deaths to be impaled on the bones below. You all see the winter wolf manifest itself into a cloud of icy gas and float up to the top, awaiting you all at the top of the cave, which now we have a frickin' skill challenge. Akia looks and says, "This challenge feels significantly different than the first, which was a riddle."
I was totes ready for another riddle.
So, everyone, if you would like to grab your character and roll into initiative so that we can track your skill challenge.
Yeah, I was totally prepared for you must answer me these riddles 3.
Mm-hmm.
Blue,
Yeah,
no, yellow.
Yeah, mainly because, and also because over the years people have actually figured out what the airspeed velocity of an unweighted swallow actually is.
Yes, but you still have to clarify whether it's African or European.
Ah, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So, the soul of the cave has awakened, its breath cold and unyielding. Before you, the ground has shaken, creating these icy platforms, forming a treacherous path ahead of you. You must make your way to the top of the ice. Each step, like walking on a razor's edge. The DC of this challenge, let's see. Why does Akia have a 19 intelligence? That's weird.
Artificers are intelligence based.
Yep.
I guess why I'm saying, why does he have a 19 intelligence? Why does he not have a 20 intelligence?
I don't know how you expect his character.
That's true. I'm like,
I mean, he may have been like at a 17 when we started, depending on his point buy and other things, and he's been doing half feats.
That's fair enough. I was just a little confused.
I mean, this is just I'm taking a stab in the dark, because I mean, I'm still only, my highest stats still only 18 naturally.
Barbarians
have alternating strength and con.
That's true. They have the I don't know if you want to call it a disadvantage of being mad across all 3 physical skills. So, the challenge lays out in front of you. The DC for the challenge is a 16 to begin with. There are 3 secret skills. In order to succeed on this first part of the challenge, you will need 4 successes before you hit 4 failures. If you end the round without hitting 4 successes, and we go into round 2, there will be a complication. If you do hit the failures, something bad will happen. So let's not find out what that is. Alicia, as you look at the spires of ice in front of you, leading you up to the winter wolf's safety, what do you do?
Oh, physical activity. Alicia is going to make a perception check for the safest routes to make their way up there.
Perception? Absolutely. Yep. A perception check is one of the secret skills.
Boom.
Because the DC is lowered by 5, because it's a secret skill. Homie, that's a critical success. So that is 2 successes. So you see that there's actually a pattern that you need to follow. You need to avoid every other column. Once you've avoided every other column, you need to then jump to the column immediately to the left. This reminds you a lot of the D&D movie, and how the Paladin D&D movie was trying to explain exactly how to do this safely without killing yourself.
All right, Lotus, don't fuck it up. I mean, she's the sorcerer. The sorcerer was the one that fucked it up.
Oh, that's true. I was like, wow, that's mean, but
Yes, but that was a
it's fair.
wild magic sorcerer. Thank you very much. Draconic bloodline is a bit smarter than that.
Yes, but you have magic, and you're pretty wild.
It's fair.
You're not wild magic, but
Well, I'm sure-
you have magic and you're pretty wild.
Well, I'm sure Watto can attest to that.
That's
Uh,
not what I was aiming for.
Ow!
Yeah, I can. Gaiman, would you like to see my ball gag?
No. And Gaiman will force his way to be next in line to get away from the situation, cutting off Lotus, who is actually next. And he's going to whip out his sickles, one for each hand, and he is going to, following the direction of Alicia and alternate every other, he's going to start climbing up.
I like that.
And actually, he is going to rage first and then start climbing because he wants to get away from this uncomfortable situation as quick as he possibly can.
It's like, Gaiman, don't worry. It's totally normal to wear a ball gag. Here, I think I even have one that might fit you. And you rage like, no.
Watto, don't put that away, please.
You're right. It's
She's like, we'll save that for later.
oh, you're right. You're right. I can't believe Michonne had just a box of these laying around.
Alice pretends he did not hear that.
Natural fucking 20.
So that is another critical success, giving you 4 successes so far in this first stage of the challenge. Gaiman, would you like to describe how eloquently you climb in this first stage of the challenge?
So, no pun intended. I think because of his awkwardness when it comes to relationships and sex and sexuality, not shaming anybody, just Gaiman is like a painfully virgin person, and that he is not comfortable with this conversation at all. He's just like gone into a cold rage, and he is using his emotions to be laser focused, and he's just like twirling the sickles, one in each hand, and he is just like looking for that perfect spot to sink it into the ice and lift himself, and it's just like moving at, insanely fast, leap back and forth, climbing up.
If I can add one piece to it, because of the speed of your climbing, for your allies behind you, you have left perfectly indented hand and footholds for them to make their way up these icy precipices.
Cool.
The power of cold rage. I love it. Okay. Well, you guys have the required successes you need, but I will remove Akia from this challenge because their player is not here. We will see if you are also able to avoid a complication due to failures. Lotus, what do you do in this challenge?
Well, being that Lotus is certainly not as physically adept, she always says like, well, as my mother always told me, work smarter, not harder. And I will go ahead and burn a 2nd level spell slot. You hear her just do a little jig, be like, I like to move it, and I will Misty Step myself.
Okay. Because you're casting a leveled spell here, I'm going to give you advantage on either an Arcana check or an Investigation check to make your way through this challenge, boofing from spot to spot.
All right, I'll go ahead and do Arcana then.
Mm-hmm. And the DC is a 16. No problem.
18.
Yeah. You all can see Lotus boofing from one spot to the next, using her arcane ability and her Misty Step spell to make her way up this first stage of the challenge. Excellent. Well, last but certainly not least, Atlas, your allies have completed 5 successes with no failures. If you're able to avoid something catastrophic, you all will survive this first stage.
So I
the Howl
can
of the
fail, I just can't critically fail.
Yes, if you critically fail, you will cause a complication.
All right,
But
that's
you
a
will
natty
move
1,
on.
right? Okay.
Yes. Natural 1 or a failure by 10.
Oh, okay. Well, good news. The failure by 10 isn't possible, at least. But okay, I will attempt to just use survival and follow the handhelds and the route from both Alicia and Gaiman.
Love it.
Oh, poop.
Hey, that
So
would
close.
That would just be a normal failure. Oh no!
Wait, do the expiration?
No, it's not worth it because we already succeeded on this round.
All right.
Yeah, because it's a normal failure. There is no complication that occurs. You are able to move into round number 2. As you all make your way up the first series of icy cliffs, the icy pillars, up the precipices that Gaiman has cut out foot and hand holds for everyone. Oh no, did I use boof and it's like a secret like sex word that
Well, it's when you shove alcohol up your butt.
Oh.
It's also the nickname of the love interest in Teen Wolf.
What?
Uh-huh. For those that may have seen the 1980 something movie, Michael J. Fox's best friend, who he ends up with at the end, her nickname is Boof.
That
Just
so much things in the context.
don't know why.
That does not sound right.
It is.
Well, I'm not saying it's not real and that it didn't happen. It's
yeah.
It's just a silly
that'd be
nickname.
like I end up with my best friend who's a girl who I just affectionately call Queef. Just no.
No. She calls me Chode because she likes me.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
The path grows more narrow, the ice more treacherous. The air has grown thin. Oxygen is at a debt as you climb higher into this cave. The DC has increased to a 17, and there are 3 new secret skills. Now that you have reached the correct height, you will need to now leap from one balance surface to the next, performing intricate gymnastic maneuvers. I hope you all brought your ballerina shoes. So, starting us in the second round of this challenge, Alicia, who so carefully picked out the route for everyone. What do you do?
Can we use the same skill back to back? Or I can't remember if there's a
new round, so no diminishing returns if we're doing a new round.
Right.
It's only if we use the same skill in the same round. I would. Am I saying that correctly, DM? I'm sorry.
You are saying that correctly. It is a new stage. This is stage 2. Because it's a new stage, there is no diminishing returns.
Okay. Then I will do another perception check.
In this round, perception is not a secret skill.
Ooh.
Mm.
I'll use DC is 17, so that means I need a 6 or higher on this.
You could do it 6, 7, or 8, and then you could.
Yeah.
Some people like to do it.
All right, let's see what happens. Hey.
Ooh.
Got it.
You see with your vision many of the balance surfaces, many of these pillars are actually illusionary. They appear as real as possible. However, you believe if you were to jump on the wrong one, you would crash to your death. So you are able to point out to your party members, don't jump there. You will fall and die.
Pass that information along.
Excellent. You have 1 success for everyone. We will give Lotus her turn now in the second stage of the challenge with all of these balance surfaces.
So from what Alicia had explained, this reminds Lotus of a show she used to watch on her Weave television on Netflix called Squid Game that had this sort of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, she will go ahead and use her. It's probably the best I could probably do here. I want to save some stuff here. I'll go ahead and attempt acrobatics to sort of leap across now that I don't have to bother climbing.
Excellent. Excellent. And acrobatics.
All right, and I'll go ahead and burn DM inspiration to get advantage.
Please do. And hello, Akia, and Akia's player.
Hello.
21.
A 21 is a success. Everyone, or I should say, Lotus, please tell us how acrobatically you perform this feat.
All right. Remembering what she saw on the Squid Game, she very carefully studies seeing the light reflections, and then very quickly just leaps from one to the other. You hear her toe claws just so doop, doop, lightly scratching, and then eventually joins Alicia on the other side.
I love that. Akia, currently, the party is inside the Cauldron Cave, the cavern that hosts the hag. They followed the sound of whistling to discover a interesting challenge. They are face to face with a winter wolf who is arresting their forward progress. The party has already completed its first challenge, the Howl of the Past. They are now attempting to pass the Howl of the Present.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And they may have found a cool-ass rowboat outside. And solved a puzzle related to giant runes. Okay. We will give it to Gaiman here. Gaiman, you see your friends are acrobatically jumping nimbly-pimbly from ice precipice to ice precipice.
Okay, so Lotus used acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's athletics this ish up.
Absolutely.
And I'm raging.
The Raging Cajun himself.
20.
20 is a success. That gives you guys 3 successes of the I probably didn't say this, the 5 total that you're going to need to succeed in this challenge. Gaiman, would you like to tell us all how athletic Gaiman is in this moment?
So he's kind of just brute strengthening it in terms of leaping. And as he's landing, he's using the sickles to kind of like an insect might like use its mandibles to like pincer onto a surface. So his feet are landing on the pillars, and just to like he's like squatting down as he lands, and then jamming the sickles into the side of the pillar to steady himself.
That's super cool. I love that. Awesome. So Gaiman has made it across successfully. Avalis.
Okay. Avalis is going to cast Fairy Fire, first level spell, to try to get across, or to see what is real and what isn't.
So I will say this will give you advantage on either a nature or a survival check.
I will take survival, thank you.
So you have advantage, and survival is one of the secret skills.
Oh, thank goodness, because I got a 19 and I don't know if that's enough.
A 19 would have been enough without it being a secret skill. Because it's a secret skill, the DC was only a 12.
Oh, lovely.
So you guys are at 4 out of 5 successes. Akia, I rolled you into initiative. I don't know if you're currently at your computer and able to participate.
I am.
So we're in this skill challenge here, and do you feel like you have enough information?
So it sounds like there's pillars that is not. It's definitely not what the map currently looks like, but it sounds like there's pillars that we're jumping across.
Correct. So the Winter Wolf not depicted on the map, summoned icy pillars that rose you up several hundreds of feet up into the air and is telling you all, in order to succeed this challenge, you have to meet him at a icy cave entrance at the top of this current enclosure by making your way through this physically demanding challenge.
All right. Kia is not super good in the physical department or the acrobatics. What they can do, however, is they will cast, based on what it looks like, the way I'm imagining it, based on what you just told me, it sounds like levitate. You can, one creature you can see within range. So I believe I can target myself.
Yep, you can use levitate defensively.
All right, and I will cast levitate on myself, and I will grab onto one pillar and sort of push myself off towards the next pillar, and so on to make my way across the room.
So with your levitate, I will give you advantage to either an arcana roll or an investigation roll, as you are using your magical ability as well as your it's almost like geometry to get yourself across the room. An 18 is a success. So you guys make it out of round 2, 5 successes, no failures, ready for the final stage of the challenge, making your way to the final lip. Before we continue, Akia, you are not here for Lotus explaining what happened to her in the 9 Hells. Would you like her to explain that now or later?
I'll listen to the. I'll go back and watch the video later.
Okay, no
if it
problem.
was recorded.
Yes, we are currently streaming right now, so you will be able to listen to the VOD from tonight.
All right, I'll give you the cliff notes a little bit later.
All right.
The peak, the small enclosure that you saw the winter wolf float into, is tantalizingly close. Yet this final stretch creates the greatest peril. Before you lies a enormous chasm glowing with ethereal light, casting reflections of yourselves and of the ghostly apparitions from below. Your challenge is to make it across this chasm to the lip above you, to find yourselves in the final challenge, the Howl of the Future. The DC of this challenge is risen to an 18. You must accumulate 6 successes before you hit a number of failures. There are 3 secret skills, and we will start with Alicia. Lex, if you're talking right now, we can't hear you. Vice versa, can everyone still hear me? Oh, there's a roll.
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. A 26 is a giant success. Alicia, you notice on this side that you have found yourselves on, there are several pieces of equipment that you could potentially use to try to make a rope bridge across. I don't know if you all have done one of those leadership courses where they give you a distance that you have to cover with a bunch of random objects on the ground next to you. This is one of those situations. Can you get across an Olympic-sized pool with 5 wrestling mats, 2 dumbbells, a medicine ball, and 1 jump rope?
Apparently you can, and you sounds like you have.
It was a thing. It involved floating across a pool on wrestling mats and using a jump rope to pull yourself from the diving well.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Looks like my mic was unplugged. Yeah, perception check. It looks like sounds like I succeeded.
Yep, you succeeded, and you see there is a bunch of random mundane equipment next to you. You believe that through some combination of this mundane equipment, you could get yourself across the chasm to the lip up ahead.
Gotcha. We'll point that out to everyone.
Ooh. Notice.
All right. I would say probably using this equipment, Lotus would sort of fashion a makeshift grappling hook, and then I would want to use once again, just like the last round, use the acrobatics to toss it and then pull yourself up to the platform.
That's sick. I will give you advantage because you're using a grappling hook, and I like to imagine Lotus in this moment has airs of Darkwing Duck about her.
And here's the thing, you mentioned that whole leadership conference thing. I imagine that at the newspaper she worked for, she's probably gone through a few of those.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have advantage,
12.
so you're at a 12. The goal for this is an 18.
You still have Expo, or you already burned that?
I already burned that earlier, and I'm not within succeeded cost range either.
Okay, so your grappling hook falls slightly short, and it catches in the wall, but below the lip. You have not lost it to the chasm below, but we were at 1 success, 1 failure. Gaiman.
Yeah, I'd say as she hits the wall, she starts cursing in Draconic.
Mm-hmm. It feels like one of those mall games where you try to get the stuffy out with the claw.
I swear those games are rigged.
They are. There's no swearing about it. It's how they make money. Anyway, so like we're trying to build the makeshift bridge across the chasm to get to the wolf.
Sounds like it's a thing we could do.
Yeah, this thing you could potentially do. There is a massive amount of mundane equipment nearby.
Are there javelins or spears?
There are both.
All right. Is there a fuck ton of rope?
Yes.
All
So
right.
much so that you believe that it's been gifted by one blessed by a god of death.
No, Theory, you can't come into this realm.
You're right. Her voluptuous figure is not welcome here.
Oh, I mean, it's welcome. Just she can't fit through the portal into this realm. She's too voluptuous.
You're right.
All right. On the so Gaiman is going to put away his sickles and using the spears, he will tie off lengths of the rope to the spears and using them to sort of get a rope framework going. He will launch them from where he is to be anchored on the far side, and then hopefully be able to work off the rope in terms of using planks or other flat objects.
And
to go off the rope.
Akia is still levitating, if that affects any of y'all's things.
I mean, you could help out Lotus if you're levitating. Maybe, I don't know. But I will use my athletics to hurl the spears.
Absolutely.
And I am raging.
A 24 is a success. You are able to embed the spears and combination of javelins and ropes as you intended.
Oh, yes, it is my human growth hormone that has made me so strong.
I feel like Harley Quinn is such a good show. So good. Okay. Avalus, you are the next link of this leadership conference ending activity that they are making everyone do before they will allow to go home.
I swear if this ends in a trust fall, I'm out.
But that is the culmination of these evil team-building activities.
Avalus will look around. Does he see any bats or other creatures in the cave?
You do see other creatures in the cave. Creatures that you see. You see the ghostly apparitions of your past failures haunting you. You see icy millipedes, which are like millipedes, but they live in icy regions. They are the size of a normal millipede, the size of your forearm. You also see ice bats, which are bats. But
I like it. Okay, he will cast Speak with Animals to use animal handling as a skill and try to coax the bats to help him cross, whether through using their sonar for picking out the best place or just guiding him along the way. Or Castlevania style, lifting him up, like in a really cool thing.
Absolutely. Give me animal handling. I will grant you advantage. Because I think ice bats are cool. And they literally are cool because they're made of ice.
Success.
The ice bats fly down to you, Avalus, and they begin to grab at your clothing, and they begin to flap their wings. And they look to one another, and they agree in bat. It's a living. And they,
I have not put on weight.
They're like, we've carried a few druids across this path before, and you're in the top 5% as weight goes.
I'm an Eladrin. They must have been children.
Well, one of them was a lady, and she had crazy red hair. We think her name was Ravison. She was nuts. Akia, you see that Avalus is being carried by bats.
Druid's gonna druid yo.
Very interesting. Let's see. I would like to. Can I leverage a nature check to assess not the material that we're building with, the structure of the cavern that we're dealing with to help others, to help everybody get across in the bridge-making endeavor?
Of course. And nature is one of the secret skills.
All right, checking out this.
So the secret skill was nature. The DC was an 18. Dropping it by 5 makes it a 13. So that is a success, which I believe puts you all at 4 successes, 1 failure. So you are close to what you need going into the 4th round of the challenge, but I need to roll a d6. A haunting melody begins to resonate from the ice. Its beauty distracting and mesmerizing. Can I have each of you make me a charisma saving throw, please?
I'll use my examspiration for that.
Oof. Inspirations don't do rerolls, right?
Correct, but I'm being extra, what's the word?
Generous.
Generous tonight. So if you guys want to spend an inspiration, you could do a re-roll today.
All right, I'll do that. So I don't think a 9's gonna cut it.
You are correct.
That 20 would have. Oh fuck.
Okay. If you rolled under a 13, then unfortunately enough, you have failed this. So what is going to occur? You are going to take some psychic damage from this. So it looks like the only person... Or excuse me. So Avalis and Lotus, you are able to avoid this. You understand how to avoid the psychic damage from this haunting melody. Unfortunately for everyone else, this was an all or nothing. You take 18 points of psychic damage from this attack on your mind by this haunting melody. Okay. Going into the second round of the challenge, you guys are at 4 successes, 1 failure. Alicia, what do you do here in the second round?
That hurt. I would like to attempt. Looking at the equipment that's kind of here, strung on this side of the chasm, could I make like a... this will actually probably fall under investigation. I can make an investigation check. I was wanting to determine like how old this equipment was here and what would be the best pieces to kind of use that doesn't seem like it's been destroyed by time. I was going to try and bullshit history, but it seems like that'd be probably more of an investigation.
I would accept either for this check.
Oh, okay. Then I will do a history check.
History is not one of the secret skills.
God
Oof.
fucking damn it. I got nothing else. I've burnt all my inspirations and stuff. That's
Okay.
a fail.
We, unfortunately enough, you're unable to determine that information as you're beginning to draw a blank of the best way to move forward from here. You're at 2 failures, 4 successes. Lotus, your group isn't in immediate danger yet, but...
All right.
I lose concentration.
On levitate? Okay. You safely land on an area that you can land. Because levitate has a line in it that you don't immediately crash and fall to your death.
All right. I would say Lewis gets a bit of an idea to sort of like counteract the haunting melody and maybe to inspire her teammates. She'll start singing a bit of a song, one that when she was on the Mind Flayer ship help, would help calm, sort of like ground her, sort of keep her sane. She starts singing, "In my field of paper flowers and candy clouds of lullaby, I lie inside myself for hours and watch my purple sky fly over me." That's for me doing a performance.
Performance is one of the secret skills, so you are able...
Natural 20!
Oh my gosh. That's a clutch natural 20. That pushes you over to 6 successes, which is what you need for this portion of the challenge. We will just need to escape without failing a few more times. We will see if it is possible, which I believe it is. Okay. Let us move forward to Gaiman. Gaiman, you are inspired by this music that your friend Lotus is singing. Oh, do we still have Gaiman?
Yep,
Probably.
sorry.
No, you're
Dogs.
good. I completely understand. We only have 8 of them.
Yeah. I'm gonna start, building on rope scaffolding that was created. So if we got planks, start them out and like tie them off, what have you.
I gotcha. And from Gaiman's perspective, what skill would he like to use to start
I
building?
mean, I'd like to use athletics, so like rage building. I'm gonna treat this like a game of Fortnite, but reality, if you need me to roll something different, like a performance or like a sleight of hand, that would technically make more sense.
Let me just quickly look at Gaiman's sheet here. I would also take, for building this stuff, I would also take survival to build stuff.
All right, I will use a DM inspiration to roll with
Okay.
advantage.
That will work. Boom, baby. That's 7 successes. Gaiman is pulling a straight Frankie from One Piece, doing carpentry out of nowhere to assist you all in what you're doing. If you guys haven't watched One Piece, Frankie is a character that does carpentry out of nowhere. Okay, Avalis. You see that the bats are successfully leading you across. Your allies are doing good things.
Yeah.
What do you
So
do?
unfortunately, all of my skills that I'm proficient in have all been used this round by other people or myself. So I have stealth left over to me. So I'm gonna nonsensically try to sneak across. Because that's all I got.
That it might be a good move.
It was not.
Do you have your Faxpiration still?
I do.
You only would need a 5, a 6, a 7, or an 8.
However, that's just one failure that adds to the total, right? And we have enough successes, so it's not critical. And we still have one more round, right?
You would only have one person left, so you guys would be at 3 failures total. So
Yeah, I'm good with failing then.
As long as Akia doesn't critically fail, you guys will be fine.
I'm just thinking I might need that Faxpiration for something else.
All right, Akia.
All right. Can I use a Tinkerer's Tools proficiency?
Yes, you can.
To try and assist in the bridge construction. Add some nuts and bolts and some stuff, solidify it.
Absolutely. Be that guy that puts the foam rollers underneath the wrestling mat when we're floating across the pool.
29.
A 29 is a success, and Avalis's gambit pays off. You all bridge the top of the lip and pull yourselves atop to see the Winter Wolf waiting for you all inside the cavern. He motions to you all that you may enter the cavern for the final part of your challenge.
We'll move in.
I assume Hagatha's with us, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, she has a little sign on her chest that says summon immunity, which works just like diplomatic immunity from Lethal Weapon 2.
Summon immunity has just been revoked.
Oh no! And then she gets killed like Jet Li.
Is this Hagatha?
Yeah, that's our friendly hag that Avalis summoned to help out with the bad hag.
Hold on, I gotta change her. I thought I changed her hag token.
It was Hagatha all along.
It was Hagatha.
Oh no!
all along. Let's see. Sea hags.
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
This is actually what she looks like. Oh, nope. Nope, not that one. This one. There we go.
Ooh, much better.
Makes the bosom move she did earlier all the more disturbing still.
Still like salmon.
Body language.
Okay. The Winter Wolf welcomes you to the top of the lip.
We are ready for your third challenge.
The final challenge is the vision of fate, the howl of the future. Are you ready?
Yes, we are ready to go back to the future.
Prepare to go where you won't need seatbelts. The creature releases a howl. With it, you all are... Oh, I thought Alicia was taking psychic damage.
Yeah, Alicia holds up a finger like Archer and starts chugging a greater healing potion. I'll be there like 1 second. And I get back most of that HP damage I took.
Alicia gets suddenly, her voice gets husky. I'm sorry, everyone. I was afraid that the cumulative hangover of stopping drinking would kill me.
No, as this howl occurs, each of you is momentarily blinded. When you begin to shake your eyes, shake your head to clear this momentary blindness, you see a vision in front of you. Damon, you see a vision. You see a warrior standing alone on a battlefield, surrounded by their fallen comrades. They are within an icy castle hall. Their enemies, draped in darkness, their only features, the glowing red eyes that pierce the darkness. There are two clear decisions you believe that this warrior makes. Will they fight against the encroaching darkness, or will they retreat?
So Gamon's vision is a warrior, and I have to decide whether they will advance or if they will retreat against the encroaching darkness.
That's correct.
Gamon's going to go with his gut and say that they will advance.
Damon, you see the warrior casting off any remnants of fear, any remnants of self-preservation for honor, runs into the darkness to face the enemies. Lotus, you see a figure shrouded in a wizardly robe. In front of them is a being from the lower planes. The being has a thick tome outstretched to the wizard, to the mage. The tome is bound in human skin. Does the mage accept the tome or decline?
Yeah, Lotus has seen that movie with Bruce Campbell before, so nah, he's not going to take it. Nope.
I like that. Our friend Avalis.
Yes.
You have a different vision than the first two listed.
If it involves salmon titties, I'm not interested.
Oh, well, okay, I gotta crumple my notes real quick. You see a woodsman in a dark, coniferous forest with snow up to their thighs. In front of you, you see a tragic scene.
Hello?
Oh, give me 1 second here, guys.
Any guesses what the tragic scene will be?
Some sort of slaughter.
I was gonna guess someone spilled a glass of milk.
So what you see in front of you, you see a bear cub. Next to the bear cub, you see its dead mother filled with arrows.
Are we sure it's not an owl bear cub?
It can be an owl bear cub if you choose.
It's fine.
Do you put the bear cub out of its misery, or does the hunter bring the bear cub with it to raise as its own, knowing the potential danger it can impress upon the other people in your camp?
It's just a baby. Sylvanus would probably be satisfied with either choice if it could be justified. But Alice would have the woodsman take the bear cub just as he was taken as a child by the Yeti.
Okay. Alicia, you see a desiccated cathedral. Within it, there is an altar surrounded by broken pews. A priest within it is approached by a single parishioner. They ask, "Our God has forsaken us. Why continue to serve a God that remains silent at our darkest hour?"
I think Alicia would take this scene in and remembering their teachings as they were growing up within the church to the Morning Lord. And that one of his tenets is that even at the darkest times during the blackest of night, there is always the promise of the dawn in the morning. And Alicia will not, and especially after all the events that happened with the Charlatan Dragon, Alicia will not waver and will say that hope and belief is something that we must cling on to so that we can continue to survive. We will see the dawn.
The vision fades from Alicia's eyes. Akia, you see a vast, sprawling workshop filled with broken inventions and blueprints. A hobbled, hunchbacked inventor is approached by a spectral being, pointing at the broken inventions, the blueprints, and the tools present. And they ask, progress or preservation. The march of innovation leaves many behind. What does Akia wish for the inventor to say?
The old can become new. As the inventor takes broken pieces and old blueprints and comes up with new things.
The spectral figure fades. The visions that you have begin to fade for everyone, leaving you all back in the room with the Winter Wolf. The Winter Wolf looks at you all coyly as its mouth stretches into a large smile. And it will give you its answer next week in Rime of the Frostmaiden. Thank you all for coming tonight and playing. I hope you all enjoyed our first foray into the Cauldron Caves.
I'm not going to be here next week.
Oh, that is right.
And I hope that me jumping in at the end was not too disruptive.
I would say it was not.
Not at all.
There's some creepy music.
That is a combination of
It
many
is-
things.
It is Death from Puss in Boots' The Last Wish, his signature whistle, which is supposed to invoke fear and creepiness. So you're right on with that.
Absolutely. So we will discuss our next session coming up next week. Sorry to cliffhanger you all, but I thought it was the most appropriate to do it right there, and the Winter Wolf can give you the answer to whether you passed or failed
You're not
the
sorry.
3 Howls challenge. You're right, I'm not. So I hope that we all had a good time, and I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you all next week. As for me, it is time for me to go to bed. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Oh, thanks. Good night.
Thanks for running.
Nighty night.
My
And-
pleasure, y'all.
And thanks everyone for tuning in. Catch you next time.